Welcome back to Do It Myself Garage. I'm filming this intro after I've already got the engine out of the car, but here's my original cap plug. Here's a new one from Butler. Has a hole in it. That's what I need. Let's get back to see where I'm at. Okay, making some progress. Got the drive shaft out. Everything's disconnected up in the front. Fender and wheel are off. Time lapse. Here we go. Well, she is out of the car. Anyway, she's out of here. Now it's a matter of taking apart the stuff I need to take apart. Get the transmission separated. Get the flex plate off of there. Make sure everything looks good. Good inspection. And then we can get her back in the car hopefully tomorrow. The parts should show up today. So my goal for today is to pop all this off of here. Let's get the transmission separated from the engine. This sucker out. I have to go buy a new one of these. Completely forgot about that. My package still hasn't shown up, so I'm not too worried. There we go. It's got her tilted. And hell, I can fish it out through the upper port up here. If I don't drop it like I did the other piece. I don't even know if those plugs are magnetic. We'll find out in a second, I guess. Oh, there he is. Yep, they're magnetic. Got them. All right, removing the last bolt from the pan. All right, let me grab a screwdriver. There we go. Come on, baby. Obviously, I bought a whole new gasket. Let's see what all's down in here. Well, the piece I dropped, I don't see it. It should have dropped onto the windage tray, though. Oh, I see it. It's laying on the windage tray. So the cap plug that I dropped, laying right here, no problem. So that's out of there. That's the one that should have had the hole in it. It hasn't showed up in the mail yet. Yeah, little pieces of bronze, little slivers. Get this all cleaned out and get her back together. I was really happy with that pan gasket. Did not have any leaks. I'll get that clean. That's going to take a day just to clean that, I think. Get that cleaned off, get the new gasket ready. And like I used the suggestion, they said you're going to put sealant on it. Put sealant on the pan side. And there's absolutely nothing stuck to the block. So I don't have to worry about anything on the block side. So very little cleaning there. I'll wipe it down with a chemical just to make sure that I have it clean, like a solvent. But other than that, the hardest part is going to be cleaning this. Now, I did have some damage on here. Yeah, right here. From my steering. You can see this. So I've got some damage right here from the steering linkage. So I didn't wear, it just dented it. So that's fine. I ordered a new steering linkage. I'll pound that back down a little bit. It doesn't hurt nothing. Maybe I'll just leave it so it doesn't kink anything. But they didn't wear it, it just pushed it up. So that's my own fault for having I don't know if it was the wrong one, it's just not the right one. You know, different aftermarket people make stuff differently. I'll just work on cleaning this. So I'll bring you back if I find anything or run into anything, but it's going pretty good. Still waiting on that cap plug to put in here. I got a new plug from the machine shop, ran up there and they had one. They just gave it to me. Let me get this windage tray off and keep doing some cleaning. All right, so I got that little plug in there. I made myself up a little square head. I didn't have one. Approximately 290 by 290 and ran that in there. Put some thread tape on it. Not so much that it wouldn't leak, just to kind of hold it in place. So she's in there nice and snug. Now I've got to press this little plug in here. Should be able to just use a socket, give her a couple of good wraps, and get her into the block. See if I can do this with the block hanging. I might have to set the block down, but it should just tap right in. This is just an old 15mm socket I had laying around. It fits in the bottom really nice of this. Oh yeah. Again, this is not a water jacket plug or anything like that. Perfect. A little bit more on this side. There we go. She's in there. She's not going to go anywhere now. She's in there flush. Perfect. Just what we need. All right, let's start getting this thing back together. I already cleaned up the cam gear. I already inspected everything. Everything looks great. No apparent damage. So let's get this thing back together. All right, I got the windage tray in, which is a lot harder to do upside down and backwards. Got the oil pan and new gasket on there. She's all snugged up. I let it tack up a little bit more this time, so that way hopefully won't squirt as much out the sides. Should still make a good seal. I didn't have any problems with the leaking before. Now I got to get the flex plate back on there and get the engine and transmission connected to each other. Oh, almost forgot, I got to put the starter back on also, so I'll do that first. All right, 95 foot-pounds. We're good to go. Now let's get her mated back up to each other. Engine and transmission married once more. All right, so I put some 2x4s under it to kind of stabilize it, to give it a pivot point. It's able to rock it up here. Do not pull it up with the bolts. Running them in just as far as they will go without any pull on the casting. These are just aluminum castings. Whoops. You don't want to do that. You got to make sure that the pegs are in place. Now I've got to actually lift this up a little bit now to get the pegs in place. Why did I go around this way? There we go. Should be able to jiggle the transmission and jiggle her up into place. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the tail end and run the bolt up here. Let me put a cover on that before I drop something in there. Be my luck at this point. There we go. This one's already flush. Oh, these other two are not lined up. Loosen this up. If that's the case, I'll have to pull it out again. I have a feeling the torque converter is not in all the way. It should not do that. Alright, let's take it apart again. Probably the torque converter. Didn't get it quite all the way in there. Let's make sure this torque converter is seated all the way. It was not. That's why you don't force them, guys. That's why you do not force them. Now it's possible that I got stuck on this piece when I was pulling it out and it pulled itself out, but seeing as how it was fighting me, pretty good chance that was not in there all the way. Alright, now let's get her back up on there. Alright, they're lined up this time. And going in a lot better. Doing exactly what I told you not to do. Don't draw that in, but I can see she's lined up. So there was absolutely no drag on that at all. Alright. So yeah, make darn good and sure that torque converter is seated. Otherwise, you'll have a very bad day. Oh, I'm missing one bolt. Where are you at? There you are. I'll go look up the torque on these again. Get these torqued down. Don't remember them being too tight. These only get 40 foot-pounds. Why's my transmission so wet? Oh, that's right. I'm sweating all over it. Alright, I think I'm going to take a break, go make some Rice Krispie bars for my granddaughters. Been begging me for a couple days now, and I definitely need a break. So, the next thing we'll be doing is putting it back in the car. That's all the more that needs to be assembled before it goes back in. So, we're ready to go. Alright, thank you FedEx for delivering on Sundays. For whatever reason, this thing came in today. This is the correct drag link. For some reason, I had the wrong one. It was straight across, and it was actually denting my oil pan. Also, this one here, you can see that this arm hole here is that way quite a bit. And that's where the old one was. And that will eliminate the rubbing on the cross member here also. So it's going to take care of two things. It's got the drop down, which there should be plenty of room for that, so that, you know, it goes down into that spot that's already made in the frame for it. That won't hit the oil pan. And that should straighten out my steering so that I'm not hitting, you know, I'm just barely rubbing that frame part there. So that should take care of both of my issues. Let me go ahead and swap that out while I have room to work inside of here. I don't have to crawl underneath to do this. Let me go ahead and take care of this real quick. I'll leave a link in the description to where I got this drag link, but they were kind enough to send along 4 cotter keys, because then you had to take you had to take it off the control arm and the end link. So that was kind of nice. Fits in there perfect. It just clears that bottom bar. It's exactly what it needs to do. It moved my steering over quite a bit to the driver's side. So my only concern now is on a far left turn that I might still hit the pan, because now that this arm on this side is up just a little bit higher. But I think it'll be okay. That wasn't hitting the pan before, but it was hitting the frame. So let's go ahead and drop this engine in here. Get this car back on the road sometime in the next week. I don't know that I'll get it done today. I don't have anybody to help me put it in. So I might be at a standstill here. The trick, yeah, if you can see my transmission mount laying under there. The trick is I gotta get it in, get it on top of that transmission mount, get the, if you can see that slotted hole in that transmission mount, I gotta get that center bolt on the transmission. Gotta get that center bolt in there. It's a lot easier to do it that way than it is to try to put those bolts on that mount when it's in there. And I've done it a couple of times now, and that was the easiest way for me to do it. Of course, last time I had some help. So let's see if I can do it by myself. I took all the bolts out of the exhaust. I took them off the manifolds. Took them off the ram air exhaust manifolds. So there should be one less thing to hang up going in. And let's see if we can get her in here. I think I'm going to take a break first, but then I'll be back to get this in. So happy about that drag link. I don't know why that other kit came with the wrong one. The rest of the steering knuckles and everything seemed to be fine. But I was really disappointed in that drag link, and this one was awesome. Alright. I'm going to try to do this myself. I do have some help that's willing. They aren't the strongest. So if I work smarter, not harder here, I should be okay. So now as I lift, if I lower this, it's actually going to go forward, and that's where I need to be. Hardest part is going to be letting it down and pushing at the same time, which is what I might need my help for. Because, yeah, I'm catching on the front here. I think I'm going to have my help come out. No, push. Alright, engine mounts are in. Transmission mount is roughly in place. I got that middle bolt through the bracket, and I just have to line up the brace now and get the stove bolts in there, and then get the bolt onto the bottom of the transmission, and then she is in place, and then it's just a matter of hooking everything back up. Trying to get all this done today. It's raining today, so I'm not going to take it for a drive. Yeah, I don't have my light over here, but if you can see, there is a lot more clearance now for that rod from the oil pan. No more denting. You can see the big dent I've got in it up there. But she's going to clear just fine now. I will run the arm all the way to full travel. Once I get the power steering pump hooked up, I'll run that arm to full travel. I've got to do a rough alignment now that I have this new these new arms on here. But yeah, that's the right one. I actually got that from Rock Auto. Alright, engine and transmission are bolted in solid. The reason I didn't show putting the cross member in is because honestly it's not the right cross member for the car. Not for a 68. It's like out of a 70 Catalina. It is really a pain, and if you have the right one, I'm sure the process is considerably different. Main thing I got to hook up now, dry shaft and everything electronic and fluid, all the radiator and all that stuff. So as much as I would love the drive shaft to line up perfectly, I don't want to take any chances of it not seating in the saddle properly. So I put the front tire on now. I'm going to go ahead and let it down. I'm going to block it, and then I'm going to raise up the back end so that when I go to put the drive shaft, when I go to put it in that little saddle on the back, go to tighten those down, that it's, you know, there's no stress on it. It's perfectly lined up. Don't take any chances with that one. You don't want to damage that. It's just little needle bearings. Obviously, you have to be really careful when I put it up there not to drop the caps off. So I don't want to be wrestling it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it the right way. Again, I'm going to drop it down, block the tires, jack up the rear end so I have some extra room to work, and we'll get that drive shaft connected. That is never one of my favorite jobs to do, but that drive shaft is attached. Everything's squared away. I wasn't thinking when I had the front end jacked up, I should have hooked up the exhaust. But at least now when I drop it down, it's in park. It's not going to roll. It's quite a bit safer. Alright, I think I'm going to call that a video for the week. I've got to have time to get this video edited and uploaded. I did get a lot of progress done. Got a lot of the hard stuff done. I've got the exhaust left and some of the stuff under the hood. Got to get this fender back on here, and then we can take it for a drive. That should be next week's video, but for this week, thanks everybody for following along. Hope this encourages you. It shouldn't have taken me 5 days to get this done, but with family, I was on vacation. I was trying to enjoy myself as well. Not hurt myself, just take my time and get it done right. I got really lucky that the drag link showed up today. I really wanted to get that in, make sure that cleared properly. I just checked it. Again, the clearance after I set it on the floor. Everything looks awesome. So, super happy with that. So, thanks again, everybody, for following along. Like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.